Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today, we're going to answer your questions. We're going to go through the comment section, see what you guys want to know about, and just go through line item by line item and answer your questions. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, the first comment comes from Diego18 Valeria. They say, any good Maverick 88 Ti deals you would consider? Looking to pull the trigger on my first pair of skis. Very nice, Diego. Yeah, I mean, make sure that's the ski that you want. I have not seen the Maverick 88 Ti on sale. I don't know if they sold out or what it is, but I have been keeping an eye out and have not seen it. You can get the Maverick 95 Ti, which is very similar in performance and has a pretty good range. That's probably what I would recommend, and I will have a link down there. I want to say they're around like $500 on evo.com. Just off the top of my head, my memory could be wrong. If you're looking for an alternative that's pretty similar, I just put out my Atomic Bent 90 review. I would say the Bent 90 is pretty close. They're 384 right now, but you know, they're not going to be nearly as damp or not have nearly as much power, so just depends on what you want out of the ski. There's also some pretty good QST 92 deals, which aren't too different, though a little bit more off-trail, Black Rose OCTO, etc. So I'll have links down below to that, but not seen that exact ski. Wish I had better news, but at least that's the most helpful I can be. Okay, next question comes from AJ Gorney. They say, what do you film your runs with? I'm trying to find a setup that will let me get a decent perspective on a helmet mount, and I'm not having much luck. It looks like I need something more wide view than my older GoPros or my iPhone. Yeah, what I use is the GoPro Max. It's like the 360 camera. I think I've had it for 2 seasons now. It isn't a lot different, but it does allow you to have a little bit more of a zoomed out mode. I find that I don't really use the 360 features on it all, but I do like the lens. And what's nice is with having the 2 lenses, and I'm only using one, when it has those little covers on it, the little dome covers, if one of them gets scratched or moisture in there or whatever, I can pull it off and swap it with the other one. So that's a nice feature. I've heard people say that the Insta360s work well. I only see influencers using them, so it's hard to tell. I know a buddy of mine who does reviews for running shoes over at Humble Running. He really likes his DJI, and the video that he gets looks really good. But for me, what I'm using is the GoPro Max. So I hope that's helpful. I also don't like the 360 footage because it makes the workflow really hard. Basically, the files are super large, and then you have to literally run it with an overlay just to get the right framing. Like every time you change the viewpoint, you have to cut and edit. And I just found it to be like, this is taking me 5 times longer to edit than just the plain footage, and the plain footage does just as well. So I like the 360 camera for its view, or range of view, or however you want to say that. But I don't know. Maybe the new GoPros are just as good. I'm not exactly a GoPro expert, but that's what I use, and it seems to work pretty well. All right, Thiago Bartolo says, would love to hear more from the Atomic Redster lineup, how all the different Redster categories compare. That's great. Yeah, I'd love to review more of the Redsters. I reviewed the Redster Q series, which kind of felt like it turned on its own, and I wasn't too crazy about. But that being said, Atomic said that they were sending me a pair of Atomic Redster X's. They haven't pulled through on that. And I have already bought 9 to 10 pairs of Atomics just this year. Just this year, out of my own pocket. So I'm done buying Atomic skis for a little while. If they want me to review the Redster, they can send that themselves. They've just been very flaky and haven't gotten back to me. I'm totally open to it. At this point, I have very limited funds that I can spend on skis, and I've reviewed everything that I can as far as what is demoed locally. I don't know, at least not right now. Maybe in the future, maybe down the line, I'll feel a little bit differently about it. But right now, I've just spent so much money on Atomic skis that it'll be a little while before I buy any more Atomic skis. If ever again. Atomic, you can send me the Redster, I don't know. I'd love to review it. I've heard the Atomic Redster X is good. I don't know, like I said, I'm a little tapped out with Atomic stuff for right now. But great question, and thank you for the recommendation. I like when you guys kind of tell me what you're interested in, because it really helps guide me going into next year. And if I get the opportunity to demo the Redster X's, I totally will. All right, last comment comes from Monterey Bay Boredom AB. I too skied a day at Sun Valley during the World Cup, and as someone who is not an East Coast skier, let me just say that I thought the conditions were terrible. So bad, in fact, that I paid good money to demo a pair of Volkl Mantra 88s, which seemed like a far more appropriate ski for the conditions than what I'd brought with me. Glad I did. I loved them in spite of the icy snow in the shade and slushy snow in the sun. They held an edge in the hardest snow with ease and smashed through every pile of crud in their path like it wasn't there. I was very impressed with having too much fun to watch the race. Yeah, I mean, I like Sun Valley and I was like ready to love it. I have lived there for a summer. I've skied there a lot when I used to race because we used to host a lot of races there just because they have phenomenal snowmaking. I don't know what was going on. The problem is too that they're charging outrageous amounts of money. What did I spend, like 230 bucks or something crazy, 200 bucks. And then they don't have RFID. They didn't have it groomed. They barely had like half of the mountain closed, not half of it. They had like a bunch of runs that are main runs closed for the World Cup. You couldn't unload the chair at certain sections. It's just like, if you guys are gonna charge me that much, at least deliver. At least like have the cats run it the night before. I just think that like, whatever, pick one. Is skiing gonna be ultra expensive and really good, or is it gonna be affordable and you kind of get by with what you get? If they charge me 30, 40 bucks, sure, whatever. I would have been like, okay, I get it. You know, it's late season, but what a bunch of baloney. And what's really interesting is a lot of people kind of look down, especially Sun Valley skiers will kind of look down on Bogus Basin. I came back the next day and skied Bogus Basin. It was 20, 30, 40 times better than what I skied at Sun Valley. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's Sun Valley's fault completely. Like, all the people who were operating the events were so nice and it was well organized, but it was more of a spectator event versus the actual skiing. What they deliver to skiers for $200 a day is highway robbery. And I don't say that lightly. Like, I know skiing's expensive. I am definitely not the kind of person who complains when stuff's expensive. I like DPS skis. I like Oakley skis, you know, like those, I feel like I'm getting value. But when I pay 200 bucks for a bunch of like 2-3 day ungroomed slop, well, I don't know, then it's like, okay, what's the point here, right? Especially when there's other better alternatives for way less. I don't know who's getting the money from all those ticket sales, but it doesn't feel like it's going back in the mountain, especially when they still have paper tickets and did not take advantage of what I know are good snowmakers. They have good snowmaking and they have good groom, like they have a good team for the snow grooming. So I don't know what was going on, but yeah, I was not impressed, and whatever, I don't know. It's money burnt at this point, but I found it very frustrating. The right skis do make a big difference though. I spent the first bit of the day on my Atomic Mavericks, and then I met up with the Stokely rep and got on some Storm Riders and Monoros, and that definitely made a big difference. But before that, I was like, oh my God, I've been totally scammed. But thanks for writing in. I 100% agree. So anyway, that's the last comment. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thanks for being here. I know it's summer. I know not everyone's interested in ski content, but I still love talking about it. I still love seeing your comments. As things have slowed down, I feel like I can connect with you guys a little bit more. So thanks for taking time out of your day to watch my content. I just put out a deal video at the end of last week, so I will copy and paste all of those deals from last week. If you are shopping for skis and looking for what I think is a pretty good value right now, you can go check those out. We also have channel memberships. Liking, subscribing always helps me out. But more than anything, just thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time out of your day as always. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.